earlier video, I had my little overview of my Dyson V6 here, and I got it off of eBay for a little bit of money and stuff like that, and it was listed as parts not working, and it was also listed as if you could fix it, you got a pretty good damn deal on a Dyson V6 vacuum. So that's what I got here, and I've already done some little mods to it. Of course, I put the DeWalt to Dyson battery adapter in this thing, and now I have the of course, with the adapter, it also came with a trigger lock, so that was pretty cool. So for me to get this thing up and operational as intended, all I had to do was put this Velcro strap around it. So I looked all over the internet, on Amazon, and on eBay, and this and that, and from what I've seen on this thing, and what is missing is the actual plastic lock for the latch, the plastic lock latch for the canister. So I looked all over, I cannot find that particular part. Doesn't appear that it's sold as a separate part. The only way to fix it is to completely replace the whole motor shells or clamshells to have that part in there. Unless there's somebody out there that knows that part or can get access to that part, or 3D print a part or stuff like that, and make one for these things to in case you break the latch, because the way it works is that you gotta get everything all lined up perfectly, which is probably what happened. Either that or it got dropped. Maybe the previous owner dropped this thing and broke the latch off of it, because this is like a double. Of course, you Dyson owners, you already know that your first time that you trip the latch here, it opens the bottom of the dirt cup here, and then you keep pushing it down, and it releases the latch. But since the latch is broke and missing, it does not perform that. So anytime, it doesn't take much torque to get that thing to come undone, and of course then you're going to lose the suction and stuff like that. But this little simple hack fix works for me, and it's only temporary unless it works, so it's a temporary permanent fixture for this thing. So I've already used this thing. Let me tell you, these little guys have a lot of suction power. It's amazing. I mean, out in the other room there, on the other side of me, is sheet flooring, and it's literally picking up the sheet flooring, when the roller brush goes over it. So quite impressive little vacuum cleaner here. And of course, I got to get some accessories for it. So I got some accessories for it. So first thing I got is the of course, when I bought this thing, it doesn't come with a hose, so that comes in handy every once in a while. So I like to get stuff, to have on hand. I'm one of them guys where, you get it in case you need it, but if you don't need it, you're glad you do have it, because eventually you might need it. So there. So this is from Amazon. It's one of them aftermarket Dyson stretchy hoses, and this one goes up to about, 58 inches. So it's my full arm span from finger to finger, and it's got swivels in it, so it won't get tangled up like the old school telephone cords, and it just plugs into your machine there and stuff like that, so you got access to in case you need to go crazy. But really, really nice if somebody invented like a strap or something like that. Might have to modify or make a strappy thing and use one of them lanyards and stuff like that. So I got that. So if I need it, I got it, and I don't have to worry about it. That, you know, I wish I got one. Then you got to wait for one and get one, all that other crap. So then I got some other bits for this, and of course we got some accessory here. This is to make the back cover a HEPA filter. So this one's only got a kind of like a sponge filter in there. It's, you know, it's kind of chintzy and stuff like that, but it's for maximum airflow and stuff like that, so you get maximum suction, you know, because you never lose suction. So we got some bits here. So this is one of them aftermarket HEPA conversion kits where you change the back cover and gives you your first HEPA filter and a new this little Dewey here. So this vacuum was to a previous dog owner because one, I found a little tough to hair, and it smells like a dog. So this little kit comes with a chamber removal tool, which you don't really have to remove this chamber. I don't know why they include it, but you get a nice hefty, heavy-duty spudger, because you got to do some prying to get that little bugger off. And then we get our your first HEPA filter, which this particular one has the max button. So when you want full power, you can push the button. And then the inside of there is a non-serviceable HEPA filter. If you all see it, all you Dyson owners, you all know what this is. So not a huge deal. You get a new washable pre-filter, or motor filter, you should say. So you get a new one of them, so we can take this one off and disinfect it, and so you don't have to smell dog. Because I used to have a dog, but I don't have dogs no more. So want that clean smelling scent coming out of my back end of the vacuum cleaner. Then you get the adapter. So this is the adapter for your HEPA filter, because this one is a flat back. You know, doesn't have, you know, no provisions for the filters, and this is just a twist to a lock to get that on there, because you got to line up the little keyways in there. And of course, once you get it the first time, you will have a memory muscle. So this is one of the Chinese ones where, for it to connect, it has your button upside down. Good job, China. You're just absolutely brilliant. But I guess that's how they get away for making these things. So, sort of a minor nuisance. And then we get this deflector that's also got to go in it. This goes around the circuit board, which is kind of like a bad design on these things, is that all the dust and nasty crap can get accumulated around the electronics of the motor, which is kind of stupid, but you know, it is what it is. So the first step that we got to do is we got to take the screw out, which also holds the battery in. So for this particular Dyson, I only got one screw for the battery holder, because this is a. You're gonna come out. Where's my magnet? to hold on the aftermarket sled battery, because the Dyson also has that angled screw that goes up in it. So finally figured that out when I tried to try to take this out. So there's a couple of latches right here on each side that you got to get undone. So that's why they provide the spudger tool. And we'll look for the thinnest of the bunch here, and we'll try to get that way. And pop it off. Of course, it might be a little bit of a challenge, so I'll work on this, and eventually they'll come off. Of course, doing this, you might mar up the plastic a little bit, so be aware of that. So after prying and stuff like that, so if you're going to do this particular type of upgrade, you are going to be sacrificing this outer piece here where you're going to get it all marred up and stuff like that, trying to pry it off. So that's we have successfully marred this up to it's pretty beat up now. So, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to be taking it out anyway. But as long as you can preserve the motor housing a little bit, you're always going to have a little pry marks and stuff like that. So here's the back end of this thing. From what I've seen, it looks like the board is conformal coated because it's ultra shiny and stuff like that. So we got that. And of course, if this is already dusty and dirty, this is your perfect time to clean this out and stuff like that. And then over time you would have to take this cover off somehow. Of course, you would probably have to live with it being marred up and stuff like that. But eventually, this filter does have to be cleaned, because it will, dust always gets through and stuff like that. So this would eventually get plugged up, and of course, then your Dyson, your motor will start pulsing and all that other stuff. So, Dyson should have made that a little bit easier to service instead of having clips and stuff like that to destroy the cover off. But they really want you to buy another one to begin with anyway when you wreck it, because now they're up to like version 15 now, so this is a 6. So moving on with the upgrade of the motor here, we got our little deflector, and this little guy goes on a certain way. And it just clips on. So we got a big portion here on the bottom, and it kind of looks kind of weird, but there's a wide gap here that's meant to go around this part here. So if you can kind of picture that, kind of conforms around that particular part of the motor housing, and then it's also making room for the wires to pass and stuff like that. Then there's another little cover that kind of covers the little connector that's in there. Of course, there's instructions how to properly put it in there, but we're going to just guess, because it can only go in one way, really. Of course, with these, some of the wires are in the way, so you might have to push the wires down a little bit. Might be protruding a little bit too much. So we got our little deflector on. So as you can see, it can really only go on one way. So like I said earlier, that little gap here, that's for the wires, and then of course there's a little spot for the little connector to stick out. It doesn't connect, it must be a programming port to program all the little chips in there. And that's all we got to do is put this cover back on. So this thing is just going to snap back together easier than it came off. Maybe it's just as difficult to put it back on too. Gotta get the little corner here that's getting in the way. There we go. Getting closer. There. Make sure we got it all snapped in. So now it looks factory. Probably won't notice the subtle little gray color change and stuff like that. So that takes care of that. We'll put the little screw back in. The little Phillips. Don't have to go crazy on that. And then we'll put our little upside down HEPA filter on, and now that's back to normal. So now we can put our of course I got a little too carried away, so now I gotta take the screw back out because I forgot to put the battery sled back in. So put the battery sled back in. I don't think, no, it does not have a hole for the China could have put a little little Dewey in there to, you know, support it a little better, but they did not, so that's fine as long as it doesn't fall out. That takes care of that. We got that. Then we got our little cup here that we gotta get back in there. And then for me, on my installation, I put my little strap on. And then I still got access to trip it, to dump the little thing there, so you know, doesn't get in the way of anything. You can it's still functionally perfect, except that it doesn't have a latch. So that's that. Now we can put our battery in. Of course, our DeWalt Dyson now. So this is the adapters that you can get for this thing, and it still works. Of course, what's nice about this particular filter, it gives it a little bit more direction out the side and stuff like that. So you can take it off if you want. Woo! Still got access to your modes. So that's that. And I got, of course, now that I got these filters here, of course you got to have spares. So on the jungle site, you can get a plethora of spares. You get this particular kit has 3, so we got 3 of them. And then we got the little cleaning tool and brush de-hair, where you just go through the brush and chop out the hair. And then we got our little replacement HEPA filters. Let's see if this particular brand from China puts the max at the right angle or right right side. So we'll see if it, yes. So you can see that the max is facing the proper way. So it's, China. That's just the way it is. They could have figured it out, but they didn't. So that's it for this video on the Dyson update and a couple of little upgrades for it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.